Yo, hello everyone, I am Jack the Jack of Knaves, and welcome back to Anima Caves. I am a ghost. Ooh, a spooky ghost. No, that's not true. I am invisible. Why am I invisible, you may ask? Well, that is a wonderful question. That is because today we are going to explore down into the invisibility area. And don't ask why I'm invisible beforehand. I don't have words for you. So yes, in the previous episode we explored this area a little bit, got to know a little bit more about this area, and now we are going to explore it proper in hopes of finding the wool that was promised to us in that book talking about wolves. So I'm hoping that this works, considering that there is a ton of creepers, and considering that creeper is staring directly at me, that makes me nervous. Nah. Invisibility. Well, if you watched my Ragecraft 2, you may remember that I have not necessarily had the best luck with invisibility. Which might be kind of an understatement. I had horrible luck with invisibility, and I am seeing here that they can see me lots. You can see me so much. You're jerks. Okay, this whole invisibility thing might not work, so we're gonna have to devise a new plan to help us out. I'm not wearing armor. Could one of you re-explain invisibility to me? I don't get it. Yeah, you see me. You very clearly see who I am. Alright, we're going with our backup plan, which is I'm gonna put on our speed potion. And we're just gonna make this work. Yep. We're just gonna do things. The things are going to happen, and we're just gonna be like, hey, things are happening here. There's so many creepers. Please don't blow up all over me. Ouch. Hey, he said over there that if I got hit like with other potions, it would get rid of my invisibility. I'm beginning to think that that's not inherently true. No, how'd you get up here? Ouch. Well, you know what, I don't even care. Our speed kind of ran out though, that's in the most basic way possible, a bummer. I'm beginning to think that we might not even have to care about... All this fills me with sad. We threw down some torches, which is fine and dandy. I might have to get lava buckets or something. We might have to go lava. Also, standing around and just staring at stuff doesn't exactly help us either. We also have limited arrows. I switched out all my stuff for things that theoretically would be disposable, I guess is maybe the best way to put it. Oh. Yeah, I blew up in like a millisecond. Alright, let's revisit there. I think the speed potion will work for us. We just have to be careful about it. So I will meet you back over there. Alright, we are back. So we have a collection of ragtag armor right here, and hopefully we can get through this area. We'll just kind of go to the run past everything plan, and sadly it looks like everything is still spawned for the most part. I kind of was hoping that they would be here, but guess not. Oh, I see what it is. Okay. It's not that it's replacing the invisibility. It's these spawners are just invisibility potions that are really short timer. So if we get hit by it, and there's slowness in there too. Oh, that's kind of clever. Okay, so it's not that if we use invisibility, it would get rid of it. It would just make us, you know, not really like powered anymore. Okay. So there's a spawner right here. There we go. Okay, so we made a little bit of headway here. It looks like we won't be able to really get rid of... Well, actually, I thought these spawners were embedded, but it actually looks like we will be able to a degree, clear this out as we would a traditional area. Oh. Actually, this isn't as bad as I originally thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be, they were all going to be encased in obsidian and we would just not be able to get any of them. But it looks like that's not actually the case. Looks like it actually would be well within our power to clear these areas out. To a degree, it looks like. Maybe not entirely. Now this I want to be careful about because they're standing near all my items. Oh no, don't. I don't exactly care about all these items, but at the same time, they're mine. They're my items. I went to all the trouble of collecting them. So I would appreciate it if they didn't blow up all over them. Okay, we got a good amount of stuff. So I think our very slow hit them with a sign plan is going to be the plan we're going to go with. Sadly, it's not the most interesting plan in the world, but, you know, we do what we can. Actually, now that I picked up that sword that I made, this could actually work out well for us. No. Okay. Oh. Says Jack as he gets back into a corner with a bunch of creepers. Okay. Retreat. Regroup. In the grand scheme of things, I think we don't actually need to clear all these areas, but you know me. You know how tedious I am. Is tedious really the world's best word? Tenacious? Maybe, I guess, is the better word in this regard. That's insulting. Actually, now that we have the sword back, actually be in a better interest to do that. Okay. We need to get torches in here again. I wish that there was such a thing as like armored torches. Maybe I mentioned that before. But something where you could like wrap glowstone in like iron bars or something. And by doing so, you could make it so that it's not easily blown up. Cause that'd be cool, cause that's the only problem with, I mean, that's again a very adventure map specific item. And unfortunately all the items that are like, I just got an idea for an item are very, like, you know, complete the monument specific items that may not exactly be, you know, the most relevant to other game modes. You're gonna explode, aren't you? Okay. I saw ya. Ow! Rude. There's all my torches. I do not like this turn of events. Ouch. Let's eat some snacks. You know what? This is not exactly working in my best interest. Maybe we can just forget about these guys. You know what? Actually, I think that's gonna basically be good for us. Okay. So after kind of fumbling ham-handedly for a little while, I think we have set up... I'm so through with you guys. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna forget about these guys. We're just gonna walk over here and basically ignore them. In the grand scheme of things, I think this plan will work. I think if we slowly and methodically work our way around here, we can figure out where the spawns are basically going to be and eliminate them. At the very least, torch them up in such a way that they can't spawn. Case in point right here. Unfortunately, this is a very slow and methodical method, but in these games, I generally... It got blown up. In these games, I generally like that method better. It's better than, you know, doing torch runs. Okay, let me regroup. We're going to try, again, this might get a little bit too tedious, so I might actually do some of it off camera, which I know is not the most exciting thing in the world, but, you know, you do what you do. All right, so I will meet you back there. All right, we are back once again, and we are going to try to recover our stuff. We're going to stick with glowstone this time because it is slightly more glowy, which might sound like a weird statement, but it actually makes sense considering that the objective of our expedition here is to light up the area as much as we can. Glowstone has a higher glowness ratio to it. So, as I was mentioning before I got so rudely interrupted, was I like the method of slowly and methodically getting through the area much more than I do the reckless torch run method of getting through the area. Not to say that there's anything against it, but I feel like I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. I feel like I've conquered the area much more if I do it this way than if I do through a torch run. Because a torch run, you're basically, your strategy, generally speaking, I'm not going to say that, you know, this is all the time, this is exactly how it's going to work. But generally speaking, your strategy is, you know, I don't care how many times I die, I'm just going to run in there with, you know, not a lot of armor or, you know, really crappy things that I don't exactly care about. And my objective is just going to put down as many torches as I can, so that when I run through, and then I'll wait around to wait for everything to despawn, and then once everything's despawned, I will come in again with my item, or with my actually good stuff, and then just mop up the mess. And I feel like there is merit to that in some areas. And there are definitely some areas too, and this is why I don't want to necessarily say that I'm, you know, I don't want to, if that's your method of getting through an area, you know, there's nothing wrong with it, because there definitely are areas like this one where you can very clearly see I'm not coming in with my best gear. You know, I'm not running in here, you know, with my diamond sword and all my best armor and whatnot, simply because to some degree I am pessimistic about my success rate within this area. And that's not me saying like, oh, I want to do a torch run, or like, oh, I'm needlessly throwing my life away. But as it stands in this area, the potential for failure is much higher. If I'm in an area where I'm fighting mobs traditionally, the potential for failure is marginally lower. And it might be a weird statement to say that. It's like, well, isn't there some areas that are more difficult than others? And yes, there are, you know, difficulties to areas. You know, some areas are more difficult than others. But what I mean by ratio of, what I mean by, now I forget the term that I used. It was a really nice term too. The potential for failure is much greater, and what that exactly means. Rude. What? Go away. Don't do that. Potential for failure, I mean in the regards that if I make a mistake while fighting, you know, skeletons. Ouch. Oh. I heard him, but I didn't get to him fast enough. Okay. Let me finish my thought. I think that actually might be where we're going to stop here, because it is a little tedious. I don't think I'm going to do a lot off screen. I'm going to go back, pick up that stuff, and just make sure that's absolutely safe before we go on. But to finish that thought, potential for failure in the regards that I mean that if I mess up while fighting zombies or skeletons, that's very much an error on my part. If I am fighting, you know, skeletons and I misjudge the number of skeletons, or I put myself in a position where let's walk and talk, where I am unprotected from the arrow shots, then I'm going to die. Same thing with zombies. If I overestimate the number of zombies, I'll get overrun and die. With creepers, it's a little bit harder because, as you literally just saw right there, my warning for that, death to occur was approximately a second long. I heard it, and I turned and tried to knock it away, and it wasn't fast enough, and so I died. And because I'm fighting super creepers, if one blows up, within like a 5, mile radius of you, you're gonna die. And so that's what I mean by potential for failure. And that's why I'm not going in like, guns blazing. I need more picks into an area like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and collect my items, and I will make sure that that area is safe before we move on. It looks like we can kind of tackle it. There's not a lot to that area. Not a lot. It's kind of a misleading term. It looks like it's not going to be like a giant cavern of us fighting through, super creepers without spawners. We actually kind of reached a point where we could say like, oh, this looks like it's transitioning to a new area. So I'm going to make this area safe. Next episode, we will explore the area proper, and generally feel happy about our lives. This is where I died, by the way. I did that. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did enjoy this episode, please consider leaving a like, because it does help me out a ton. And, as always, stay tuned for more.